Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
My ex's relatives urged her to dump me for a genuine guy. Now she's observing as I construct the destiny they doubted I'd achieve. I always sensed that Bianca's kin disapproved of me. I wasn't oblivious. They avoided direct statements. No, they were far too polished for such crudeness. Yet the glances, the condescending grins, the manner in which they constantly redirected discussions to accomplished gentlemen in their network, it was evident. Initially, I believed Bianca stood apart, that she overlooked their realm of inherited wealth, country club schemes, and prestige above all mindset. We'd shared 4 years together, starting from university. In those days, I was merely a penniless fellow with grand ambitions, scraping through programming courses and launching a venture on a shoestring. She assured me those things were irrelevant. Evidently, they were crucial. The decline began at an opulent supper at her folks' mansion. One of those ridiculously extravagant assemblies where attendees sport timepieces costing more than vehicles and sip vintages guarded like treasures. Bianca had pushed for my attendance, claiming it was purely familial. But upon entering, I understood it was far from that. Her dad's professional colleagues attended, including their offspring, individuals who had already triumphed in banking, legal fields, property dealings. The dialogue glided smoothly among portfolio tactics and continental getaways. I, still toiling on my enterprise, scarcely fit in. It wasn't long until the pointed criticisms emerged, masked as idle chatter. So, persisting with that minor digital endeavor? Bianca's dad inquired, twirling his scotch. Venture, I amended. We're in initial phases, but advancing. One associate snickered. Technology's unpredictable. Certain it's a smart use of effort? Perhaps a contingency strategy couldn't harm. I noticed Bianca fidget uneasily. She wasn't supporting me. That was unusual. Enter Adrian. Her mom presented him as if he were a rediscovered royal. Business attorney, elite education, affluent background, flawless smile, a walking professional resume. And oddly, Bianca's mother was adamant he sit beside Bianca. The talk repeatedly veered to reliability, steady professions, established triumphs. I grasped then that this wasn't merely a kin meal. This was a tryout. They were displaying Bianca her alternatives. Authentic males with solid prospects. Not a chap still battling for his initial major success. I scarcely endured the evening. But the harshest element wasn't the veiled insults or the arranged contrasts. It was Bianca. She uttered nothing to back me. 7 days on, I received the discussion. She didn't prolong it. Simply positioned opposite me in my cramped flat. The identical one she formerly described as snug, but now likely appeared dismal next to the palaces she'd been showcased in. I adore you, but I require dependability, she stated, precisely practiced. I can't continue awaiting your breakthrough. My relatives, they helped me understand I need a person who's already succeeded. Someone resembling Adrian. I might have argued, might have pleaded, but an inner part fractured. I merely agreed. Fine. That's all I voiced. She appeared startled, as though anticipating opposition. But I possessed none remaining. 48 hours later, she publicly debuted her fresh romance on online platforms. Coordinated attire, upscale resort, tagline, discovered my eternal. All as my existence crumbled. I wish I could claim I transformed my anguish into drive immediately. But no. I plummeted. Severely. My venture? Tanked. Backers withdrew following a preliminary model flop. My residence? Vanished. Couldn't cover the rent any longer. My dignity shattered. I wound up bunking at my buddy Luke's spot, seeking employment for whatever sustained me while viewing Bianca's ideal new existence play out digitally. Extravagant holidays, gourmet meals, presents exceeding my assets. Each update seemed like a taunt. And the most painful? Her kin were correct. I had zero to demonstrate for my efforts. I had squandered years pursuing a vision that yielded nothing, while Adrian, in his custom outfits and hefty income, had all delivered on a platter. I reached my nadir when I encountered Bianca and Adrian at a coffee shop. I was collecting a delivery gig order, since that's my level now, ferrying meals to subsist. They were giggling, clasping hands, attired like a premium commercial. She spotted me, halted, beamed courteously as if I were a pitiful acquaintance from the past. That instant shattered an element within me. That marked the final day I permitted myself to be a punchline. I severed all ties. Online accounts, interruptions, justifications. I entered total reconstruction phase. I rested 4 hours nightly, held dual occupations, and devoted every free instant to reconstructing my venture from zero. The shift this round? I grew wiser. No further pursuing funders. I mastered self-funding and creating tangible value prior to seeking capital. No more credulous reliance. I maintained my group tight and operated discreetly. No more frittering time. I eliminated diversions, abandoned companions who merely griped about existence, and concentrated on outcomes. For the subsequent 2 years, I vanished from Bianca's sphere. While she portrayed the spouse to Adrian, I was laboring more intensely than ever before. And abruptly, all altered. One occasion, my venture at last struck the proper niche. A widespread search, a significant patron. Suddenly, I wasn't merely enduring. I was expanding. And instantly, my firm, the one they all ridiculed, was abruptly rivaling outfits like Adrian's. And he was poised to discover it painfully. 2 years. That's the duration required. 2 years of toiling in utter quiet, of enduring extreme schedules, of overcoming each obstacle. There were numerous instances I almost surrendered. Instances when I pondered if Bianca and her kin were accurate regarding me. But I persisted. And then, unexpectedly, elements began aligning. My venture wasn't simply persisting. It was growing rapidly. I secured a key account, one that elevated us, that triggered additional agreements, more backers, greater acclaim in the sector. In months, we were broadening internationally. But the true irony? Our primary industry upset was in fiscal legal technology, the identical field Adrian operated in. That signified my firm was immediately jeopardizing his outfit's longevity. And he remained unaware of the mastermind. The initial reunion with Bianca was entirely spontaneous. I attended a premium sector gathering, not as an attendee, but as a highlighted presenter. A year prior, I couldn't purchase admission. Now I was a primary draw. As I concluded my address, greeting financiers and leaders, I noticed Bianca's parents. They appeared altered, less arrogant, less scornful. They identified me right away. Her mom's gaze expanded in astonishment. Her dad, who had once derided me during his meal, merely offered a deliberate acknowledgement, as if he abruptly esteemed me. Then I observed Bianca. She stood aside, immobile, gazing at me as though witnessing a specter. She avoided nearing me. I avoided nearing her. But I observed her demeanor shift, from astonishment to awareness to an element resembling remorse. From that evening forward, circumstances deteriorated for Bianca. Her bond with Adrian was already fracturing. I subsequently learned from shared acquaintances that he embodied my predictions. A detached, appearance-fixated, domineering individual who viewed her as an ornament. Initially, she cherished the lavish existence, the deluxe excursions, the elegant suppers. But post-initial excitement, truth struck forcefully. Adrian seldom returned home. He managed the finances, ensuring she lacked independent access. He prescribed her attire, her public speech, her associations. And most grievous, her parents supported him. She ceased being the trophy. Adrian became it. Bianca had relinquished all for assurance. And now she suffered. Several months on, I received a summons. Bianca's dad personally contacted to welcome me to a confidential commercial assembly. One of those select connection sessions where influential figures negotiate privately. Years back, they would have mocked inviting me. Now they desired my presence. I agreed. Not for their endorsement, but since I comprehended the motive. I was prevailing, and they sought involvement. Upon reaching the occasion, I viewed Bianca and Adrian positioned jointly. Adrian seemed changed, tense. His outfit had been faltering, and I understood the cause. My firm had captured a substantial portion of their patrons. He likely remained ignorant of my role. But Bianca, she knew. The instant our gazes connected, I perceived it. The identical look from the prior occasion. Only now it intensified. It was unmistakable remorse. 7 days post-event, she contacted. I had erased her contact ages ago, but her note arrived regardless. Hello. Long time. I pondered if we might reunite sometime. Merely converse. I disregarded it. A day on, she attempted anew. I recognize matters concluded poorly, but I've reflected extensively. I yearn for our dialogues. I overlooked that also. But then she executed a frantic action. She appeared at my workplace. It was tardy. My staff had departed. and I was completing correspondence when the front desk alerted me. A lady here requests to meet you. She claims it's vital. I didn't inquire who. I considered dismissing her. But then I recognized this was my opportunity. So I permitted entry. She entered tentatively, her assurance utterly demolished. Vanished was the conceited, privileged lass who once declared I fell short of her caliber. Now, she appeared anxious. "Hi," she murmured gently, offering a mournful grin. "Long time." I reclined in my seat, limbs folded, mute, observing. She wavered, then inhaled deeply. "Aired," she confessed, regarding all. I heeded my kin and discarded something authentic for something artificial. She nibbled her lip, scanning my expression for response. "I long for you," she murmured. "I long for what we had." I angled my head. "What we had," she affirmed swiftly. Optimism sparkled in her gaze. "I realize I wounded you, but perhaps we could begin anew?" I regarded her for an extended period. Then I chuckled. Not wrathfully, not resentfully, simply entertained. "Begin anew," I echoed, shaking my cranium. "Bianca, we concluded the day you selected them over me." She recoiled, but I continued. "You rejected me when I lacked funds. You doubted me during my struggles. But now that I've succeeded, now you desire re-entry?" Her countenance dropped. I rose, fastening my blazer. "Bianca, I don't contemplate you. I don't yearn for you, and I certainly don't require you." And then for the ultimate strike. The workplace entrance swung open. My partner entered. A stunning, elite lady who surpassed Bianca in every aspect. Bianca's visage paled. I faced my partner, providing her an affectionate grin before glancing back at Bianca. "You observe, I did locate someone matching my level," I declared. "Turns out it simply wasn't you." And with that, I escorted Bianca to the exit and closed it. Bianca departing my workplace that evening wasn't the conclusion. It was merely the commencement. I assumed she would comprehend and proceed. But no, that remorse? It wasn't solely about me. It was about her whole existence disintegrating. And the harshest? She wasn't solitary in experiencing it. Rumors began circulating that his outfit faced grave issues. Evidently, my firm's AI-driven legal technology had been acquiring customers at an alarming pace. Quicker assistance, lower costs, greater productivity. Adrian's outfit was hemorrhaging funds attempting to rival. The traditional methods failed. And rather than evolving, the leaders were frantic. I learned from shared connections that Adrian was unraveling privately. He was enduring 80-plus-hour weeks, frantically striving to hold key accounts. He was scolding his subordinates, venting at employees. Funders were withdrawing support, viewing his outfit as an obsolete relic in a domain they no longer dominated. And the ultimate sting? Adrian still hadn't connected the dots. He remained unaware I orchestrated the firm devastating his profession. Yet, while Adrian deteriorated professionally, Bianca's parents were alarmed too. They had devoted years disparaging me, regarding me as some destitute failure unworthy of their offspring. Now, their failure was wealthier, more influential, and more admired than their whole network. And abruptly, they wished to feign the history never occurred. Commenced with minor actions. Bianca's mom dispatched a courteous message praising my accomplishments. Her dad referenced me in a discussion, labeling me one of the most hopeful business starters of the era. They welcomed me to another commercial occasion, presenting it as a connection chance. I dismissed everything. Then, Bianca's dad phoned me straight. I responded from sheer intrigue. "I believe we ought to converse, lad," he stated, his manner cordial, paternal, as if we hadn't engaged in a tacit conflict for years. I permitted him to prattle about commercial prospects, possible collaborations, bygones be bygones. Then, following a break, he reached the actual purpose. "Hear me," Bianca aired. "I acknowledge that. We all do. But she's endured difficulties. And I believe if you two merely convened and..." I disconnected midway. No remorse, no responsibility, just blatant self-preservation. That marked the final instance I accepted their communications. The instant Adrian ultimately grasped I caused his downfall, it was magnificent. I attended a prominent business symposium, addressing a group on AI's role in legal futures. The head of a leading outfit openly commended my firm, stating truthfully, "These folks are revolutionizing things." Even certain major outfits struggle to match, including familiar traditional ones. The view shifted to the attendees. And there, among them, Adrian, his countenance utterly ashen. The insight struck him forcefully. I wasn't merely some faltering former partner of his lady. I was the individual demolishing his vocation. Subsequently that evening, he cracked. 7 days post-symposium, I received a note from a shared associate. Dude, Adrian just exploded in a session. You must witness this. Reportedly, amid a company-wide planning meeting, one leader cited my firm as a model for competition. And Adrian erupted, pounding the surface, yelling at his superiors, asserting I was merely a fortunate imposter, maintaining we'd fail spectacularly. Except the issue? All others in that space. They weren't amused alongside him. They were grasping what I already understood. Adrian wasn't the tomorrow. I was. Now I could have ceased there. But no, I desired to conclude this thoroughly. Observe, I possessed one last maneuver to execute. Several months on, my firm prepared for its largest purchase yet. We were acquiring a smaller yet highly impactful legal outfit. One that coincidentally rivaled Adrian's outfit directly. This wasn't solely a commercial step. This was endgame. Once sealed, we lured multiple of Adrian's premier patrons. And instantly, his outfit imploded. In half a year, Adrian's outfit had to combine with a competitor. He ceased being a leader, no longer an executive. He was simply another worker. And Bianca? She had wed a man whose profession now plummeted. The same manner she abandoned me for safety. She was now trapped with a man who had forfeited everything. And me? I had triumphed. I encountered Bianca one final occasion. It occurred at an airport waiting area, unexpectedly. I awaited my departure when I saw her seated solo. No luxury purses, no costly adornments. She appeared exhausted. She noticed me, and briefly, I saw optimism gleam in her gaze. She rose as if to approach. I merely shook my head. Then I pivoted, entered my premium seating flight, and never glanced rearward. Ultimately, I didn't need to ruin Bianca. She accomplished that independently. She had exchanged true affection for position. And now that position vanished. Adrian, once the ideal supporter, was now merely another tarnished attorney striving to remain viable. Their formerly splendid existence diminished to ordinariness. Meanwhile, I possessed all I had ever strived for. My firm was now a commanding presence in the field. I had authentic companions, an existence I constructed from basics, and a bond with someone who truly trusted in me. I never replied to Bianca's concluding notes, never recognized her quiet efforts to reestablish, because ultimately, the optimal vengeance wasn't wrecking her existence. It was merely pursuing mine, superior, more joyful, and absent her.